supposed to decorate a car for the couple, their getaway car, and make it nice and presentable for them. So it's something that, you know, they will remember this.
We're just looking to get something that's either really stinky or bizarre, something that kind of stands out.
Burger looks like.
I bet that'll stink it up. Let's get one of those.
Even better.
All right.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. A double Duggar wedding. Could it be? Something secretive is going on in Duggartown. And there has been some discussion since I did my video about Jed and his supposed engagement to Lauren that there could be either a different woman that he's engaged to, or Jeremiah could be potentially linked to a woman that some fans think Jed is being linked to. What? Yeah, it's so confusing, you guys. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride. So it all started yesterday when The Sun exclusively reported that Jed Duggar was engaged to Lauren Caldwell. The story goes like this. They had been courting on and off for a year, according to The Sun, and she met Titus and decided to court him and got engaged, and then suddenly, when she got with Titus, realized that Jed was the one for her, broke up with Titus to get with Jed, and then as soon as she got with Jed, things moved quickly. The kismet love of Duggarness. Okay, anyways, that's the story, and the story now is that they're engaged and they're getting married, all right? And I said yesterday that I hadn't had a chance to verify with anybody that I knew in sort of the Duggar circles, but I did after I made my video last night, and this is what I found out. And it doesn't really give me any more answers, so I do apologize. Now, first off, I want to just put this out there that the Duggars are pretty good at diversion, and they are also often pretty good about not telling friends or family about anything before the media or before the show would release the information. They're bound by contracts typically with TLC to release information, and so a lot of times secrecy is the norm. Like, friends don't find out about courtships until the wider public does, or friends don't know about engagements until the wider public does. And that can cause confusion in circles because Jim Bob will tell people things and then they will be completely blindsided when things come out, okay? So that's what the source kind of told me. So here's what I was told, is that about a week ago, Jim Bob was allegedly speaking to somebody, also like has been talking to friends, let's say, and he has been telling people that Jedediah was engaged or getting engaged. So the engagement rumor is apparently true, but he has been telling people that Jedediah is engaged or getting engaged to this girl that from Arizona. That's where it all started. Now, they did admit that Jim Bob hasn't been telling people anything about them. And in fact, nobody knows who Jed is courting. They said it's been so secretive that they don't know the name of the girl. They don't know anything about the girl, just that Jed is really serious about someone. They're getting engaged and a wedding is happening in April. So that part I did confirm. Now, after I talked to that person, I said, do you think that Jim Bob might say that as a way to throw people off, that it could be Lauren? And the person I talked to wasn't sure if it was Lauren or not. They said that the Caldwells hadn't made any mention of anything, so we know that the Caldwells haven't said anything. Jim Bob's saying that Jed is engaged to someone in Arizona, and there's been a lot of secretness around this. Now, in terms of Lauren, they weren't sure whether or not she was involved with any of the Duggars. Apparently, according to the source I spoke to, Jason was actually pretty interested in her at one point in time, but I guess Paul Caldwell did not approve. And then I also was told that the rumors about Jed dating Kendra are true. So before Joseph got with Kendra, apparently Jed and Kendra were a thing. and they were together for a while, and then suddenly Kendra and Joseph got together. Now, the Sun did report that, and then everyone sort of played it off and said, oh, that's not true. Well, my source says, yes, that is true. Kendra and Jed were together, and then it didn't work out, and then she ended up with Joseph. Imagine trading girlfriends with your sibling. That's so bizarre to me. But it's the Duggars. Okay, in terms of whether or not it's Lauren, even like people that are close to her don't know, because no one's saying anything. Hard to know if Jim Bob has created this story about the girl being from Arizona as a way to deflect or distract so that people have no clue that it's Lauren, so that they can't, you know, release that information to the wider public, or if that's the truth. But after I spoke to this person, then I went on to my DMs and I had a message from one of my actually, it was on my channel, and then in my DMs, someone said, well, who is Katie Nikatsu? And I said, I don't know. And they said, there's a registry. And they sent me a photo of the registry of her with Jedediah. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Wedding registries are so easy to fake. There's a wedding registry for Jana and some guy named Titi. There's also wedding registries for other Duggars that are clearly not married, or dates of registries that are false. And we also know somebody like set up a false one for Nathan Keller and Nuri Rodriguez, and another person set up a fake one for Justin and Claire. Fans get creative and they sometimes use it as a way to get free gifts. You know, I don't know that this is true, but it says that Jedediah and Katie Nikatsu are getting married on April 30th. Now, not all the time are the wedding registries public. And in fact, when Justin and Claire shared theirs, it had been private or only for people that could look at it, in terms of like only people that had access to that link could get to it. They couldn't actually find it in the database. So knowing that not all of these are true, it's hard to know whether or not this is true. But here's the thing. Katie is from Arizona. She's a member of the IBLP. These are a family member that's been around the Duggars for a very long time. John David appears to have gone through flight school that her father owns. So her father, Corey, owns a flight school out in Mesa, Arizona. And he and Katie were seen together back a lot in 2018 when he was working on his pilot's license. So some people thought maybe he and Katie were courting, but I don't think that's true. And then also, there's been this like speculation that Katie was involved with Jed or with Jeremiah. This could be completely false. But then there is this video that comes out on Jess's channel where they're all painting pumpkins, right? And all the guys are painting pumpkins, and you see them like sort of finishing the pumpkins, and you don't know who made what, because she doesn't like view up at all on who is making what pumpkins and who made what, but one of the pumpkins said Katie on it. And it's an interesting way of spelling it, Katey. That again is an interesting, different spelling. Obviously my Katie is Katie, that's kind of the most traditional, or Katy. Adding the EY is kind of an unusual spelling. That was found by another one of my subscribers, and they sent that over to me. And then I started looking through some old blog posts, and I noticed that this family has been friends with the Duggars for a really long time. And I do know that what happens in the IBLP is that family members, the boys generally will, now girls and boys in the IBLP are not allowed to speak to each other. They're not allowed to have relationships with each other, and they're not really allowed to know one another. So the only way a boy would be able to find interest in a girl would be like simply being around her but not interacting with her. And then the boy would have to go to his parents and ask his parents, I'd like to get to know this girl. And then the parents might go off and pray about it, and then come back to the boy and say, okay, yes or no. And after they've prayed about it, then the parents of the boys will go to the parents of the girls and talk to the girls about it, girls' parents about it, and then they pray about it. And then it's at the very end of that sequence that the girl finds out that there's someone interested in her. I know, it's wild. That's why people call it arranged, because the girls are the last to know, and it's the boys that kind of do it's old-fashioned and it's really weird. And this is from people I've talked to that are in the IBLP or former members that have basically said it's just arranged marriages with a fancier term of courtship. It's not uncommon also for these families to intermarry because there's not a lot of families in it. And it's also not uncommon for fathers to get together and try to sort out like if their children would be good matches for each other. Knowing that this family, the Nakatsus, have been around the Duggars for a long time. They have 2 girls that are in the age range of some of their boys. It wouldn't be like weird to think that someone would be connected to her. So you have this wedding registry, which we really don't know if is true or not, but we have this pumpkin that says Katie on it. Then there's this random photo that shows up and it's from Magnolia. They're all outside and Jeremiah is standing very close to a girl with long brown hair, which happens to be the same sort of long brown hair that Katie has. Definitely not the same long brown hair that Lauren has. Lauren is a blonde. So is Jeremiah potentially courting Katie? Someone made a fake like Katie and Jedediah registry to throw things off, and is Jim Bob then telling people that Jedediah is courting Katie to throw people off from him courting Lauren, engaged to Lauren? And in the middle of all of this, I know it's confusing, you guys, both Jed and Jeremiah have Instagram pages, okay? So Jeremiah makes an Instagram page, makes his first post in February. Now it's traditional that the boys typically will not have Instagrams until they're courting. That's not necessarily always true because Jason has one, but he has a company. So I think it's just an extension of his construction company. And then I know James has one too. So I don't know if James was courting someone or not. But anyways, Jeremiah has an Instagram account. Jed has one. Jed is dating someone. Jess has alluded to the fact that he has a honey. There's now this rumor that he's engaged to Lauren. And now this Katie person is showing up out of nowhere. So who is with who? I don't know. Jim Bob is insisting that a wedding is happening in April. Who is getting married? I don't know. And who Jedediah is marrying? I don't know. Whether it's Lauren or whether it's this Katie girl or whether Jeremiah is dating this Katie girl, that I don't know either. Could there be a double Duggar wedding? Maybe. I don't know. But this is really sneaky, and I wouldn't put it past any of them to have this whole thing be a big diversion for Jim Bob to be able to cover up that Jed and Lauren are together. You know, who knows? Anyways, and then some of you guys have suggested that there might be a reason why Lauren hasn't said anything, or the Caldwells, because of the way it looks of her having been engaged to someone and then quickly going to someone new. Like the appearance of that from the Duggars' perspective, it might look questionable. Again, I don't know. All of this is speculation, but something weird's going on. There are 2 boys that have relationships and we don't know who they're with. The rumor is, according to the source that the son spoke to, that he's engaged to Lauren. And the person I spoke to says it's a girl in Arizona, and the wedding registry that is maybe fake or maybe real says it's a girl from Arizona. So figure it out, tell me what you think, and leave me some comments below. Bye, guys.